The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the Vrexian ambassador slammed his clawed fist on the obsidian table. His 3 eyes blazed with barely contained fury as he glared at the 2 human delegates seated across from him. "Your species has no place among the civilized races," Ambassador Krell hissed, his translator implant rendering his words into a dozen languages simultaneously. "You are primitives, warmongers, you've barely left your own solar system, and yet you demand a seat at this table." Anna Cross leaned back in her chair, her dark eyes never leaving the alien's face. Beside her, Max Chen remained perfectly still, his hands folded calmly on the table. They had expected this hostility. Earth's application to join the Galactic Council had been contentious from the start. Ambassador Krell Anna said evenly, "Humanity has met every requirement for membership. We've demonstrated FTL capability, established peaceful first contact protocols, and requirements written by species who evolved beyond violence." Krell interrupted, rising to his full height of nearly 3 meters. "Your kind still wages war upon itself. You celebrate conflict in your entertainment. You honor those who kill most efficiently." He gestured dismissively. "The Council has no room for apex predators." Max finally spoke, his voice quiet but carrying clearly through the chamber. "Every species at this table evolved through competition, Ambassador." The Vrexians included. Krell's scales flushed a deep purple, a sign of rage among his people. "We evolved past such barbarism millennia ago. We are civilized now." He turned to address the assembled delegates from 47 different worlds. "I move that we reject Earth's application permanently. Let them stew in their own violent nature until they destroy themselves, as such species always do." Several delegates murmured agreement. The Alithians, the Torquans, the Selenite collective all nodded their various heads, appendages, and sensory organs. Anna felt her jaw tighten. 3 years of diplomatic work, countless hours of negotiations, all about to collapse because aliens who had forgotten their own bloody histories judged humanity by standards they themselves couldn't have met at humanity's current age. "Perhaps a demonstration is in order," came a sibilant voice from the gallery. Anna turned to see a figure emerge from the shadows, a Kresh warrior, one of the mercenary species that served as the Council's military arm. The reptilian creature stood nearly as tall as Krell, but its body was lean, coiled with predatory muscle beneath scaled armor. "The Kresh have a tradition," the warrior continued, its tongue flickering between razor teeth. "When a species' worthiness is questioned, we test their mettle directly." It drew a curved blade from its belt, a beautiful, deadly thing that shimmered with an energy field. "I challenge the humans to prove they belong here." Max stood slowly. "What kind of test?" "Simple combat, you and your female against me. If you can survive 30 seconds, perhaps you'll demonstrate that human persistence your species is so proud of." The Kresh's lips pulled back in what might have been a smile. "Weapons are prohibited for guests, so you'll face me unarmed. Refuse, and your application dies here." Anak rose beside Max, her mind racing through options. This was a trap. The Kresh were renowned warriors, trained from birth in dozens of combat forms. She and Max were diplomats, not soldiers. They both had served in Earth's military before joining the diplomatic corps. "We accept," Max said. The chamber erupted in surprised chittering, clicking, and vocalizations. Even Krell seemed taken aback. A space cleared in the center of the room, delegates backing away to form a circle around the combatants. The Kresh warrior stepped into the ring, twirling its blade with casual expertise. "I am Thesk of the Bloodcliffs. I have killed in 17 different gravity wells, across 9 different atmospheric compositions. I have ended the lives of warriors from 6 different species." It dropped into a fighting stance. "You will be my first humans." Max and Anna separated, moving to flank the Kresh on opposite sides. They'd trained together, sparred together. Anna knew Max's rhythms like her own heartbeat. Thesk struck without warning, blade flashing toward Anna's throat with impossible speed. She dropped and rolled, feeling the weapon's energy field singe the air where her head had been. The Kresh's tail whipped around, forcing Max to leap backward. 15 seconds, Thesk announced, pursuing Anna with measured strikes. "You're quick, for mammals." Anna stayed defensive, using every technique she'd learned not to win, but to survive. Beside her, Max moved in a calculated pattern, drawing the Kresh's attention whenever it pressed Anna too hard. They were outmatched, and they knew it. But they didn't need to win. They just needed to last. 20 seconds. Thesk's attacks intensified, the blade becoming a silver blur. Anna felt it slice across her shoulder, drawing blood. Max took a hit to his ribs that sent him staggering. 20-5 seconds. The Kresh warrior suddenly pivoted, switching tactics. Instead of alternating between targets, it focused entirely on Max, pressing him backward with a flurry of strikes. Max gave ground, his movements growing desperate, and then Thesk made its killing mover, lightning-fast thrust aimed directly at Max's heart. Max's hand shot out, fingers reaching for the blade itself. The entire chamber gasped that it was suicide. The energy field around a Kresh weapon could slice through reinforced steel. Max's hand would be severed, and the blade would continue into his chest. But the blade stopped, not because Max caught it, he hadn't. His fingers were still a millimeter away from the weapon's edge when it simply froze in mid-air, as if held by an invisible force. Thesk pulled back, confused. The blade wouldn't move. It remained suspended in space, vibrating slightly, locked in place exactly where Max's instinct had tried to intercept it. "What is this?" Thesk hissed. "What trickery!" The blade shattered. The energy field collapsed, and the weapon exploded into fragments that scattered across the chamber floor. Thesk stumbled backward, staring at the broken hilt in its clawed hand. Max stood perfectly still, his hand still extended, his expression one of complete bewilderment. An elderly delegate rose from the council seat salute, one of the energy-based beings who served as the council's historians and researchers. Its form pulsed with excited colors. "Remarkable," the Luminar breathed. "The readings, the quantum fluctuations. I haven't seen anything like this since the Ascension Wars." It floated closer to Max, sensors extending from its crystalline body. "Young human, have you ever experienced unusual phenomena? Technology malfunctioning in your presence, probabilities seeming to bend around you?" Max shook his head slowly, still staring at his own hand. "No. I mean, sometimes I'm lucky, but not luck," the Luminor interrupted. "Latent psionic capability, incredibly rare, even among species known for such talents, and it manifested at the exact moment you needed it most." The being turned to address the council. "This changes everything." Ambassador Krell had gone very quiet. Around the chamber, delegates were murmuring with newfound interest. "Humans," the Luminar continued, "are one of the youngest species to ever appear before this council. They're also one of the most adaptable we've encountered, and now we discover they may possess latent psionic potentia, trait that could blossom into something unprecedented given time and training." It pulsed a warm golden color. "I move that we not only accept Earth's application but fast-track their integration. Such a species could be invaluable to our alliance." The vote was called. It was overwhelming. Humanity had earned its seat. Hours later, in their quarters aboard the diplomatic station, Anna pressed a medical patch to the wound on her shoulder while Max sat on the edge of his bunk, still staring at his hands. "How did you do it?" Anna asked quietly. "I don't know," Max admitted. I saw the blade coming, and every instinct I had screamed at me to stop it. And then," he flexed his fingers, "it just stopped." Anna sat beside him. The Luminar said others might have this ability, hidden, waiting, maybe. Max looked up at her, a slight smile crossing his face. "But for now, all that matters is, we're in. Humanity has a voice out here." Through the view, Earth hung in the distance, a blue marble dotted with clouds. Home to 8 billion humans who would wake tomorrow to find their species had joined the galactic community. And somewhere among those billions, perhaps others existed with abilities they'd never discovered, abilities that might change everything humanity thought it knew about itself. Max tried to catch the blade that day. He failed, but in failing, he'd revealed something far more important, that humanity's potential was only beginning to emerge, and the galaxy would never be quite the same.